Good day, everyone. Today, let us tackle some reference about language, dialect, and variety. So, there are three components of references, and the first is culture, the second is handki, and the third is kumar. First, let me discuss about Thatcher's idea about the topic. According to him, when we say English has become a global language, we're using the word language to cover a great deal of territory. So the term language represents an idealization. And also, according to him, individuals do not speak a language. They speak a variety of a language or a dialect. So within each nation, we identify varieties of regions. To sum up his idea, according to him, the English language is a global language that we used. And also, according to him, individuals do not speak a language only, but also speak a variety of a language or a variety of dialect. So, language does not only focuses on one language, it also focuses on its variety and varieties of dialect. So to summarize his idea and thoughts about language, dialect, and variety, they are connected to each other according to him. Yeah, and also to him, he also stated some dialect variation, which is it is generally understood to be based on geography. So there are other factors that lead to variation too. For example, there are differences in the speech of different classes. So different classes are, as you can see, I can read over there. There are ethnic groups, age groups, and genders, and there are differences between educated and uneducated speech. So there are dialect variation according to different classes, right? So they have different dialect according to ethnic groups. They have varieties of dialects because there are different kinds of ethnic groups, right? So every region has different ethnic groups. And also to him, according to him, we can also differentiate dialect variation according to age groups. So the older ones and the young ones, they have a variation of a dialect too, and also in genders. So as today, we have a lot of variation of dialect according to the genders. Also, most importantly, being a person who is educated and uneducated, we can also verify variations of a dialect. So some uneducated persons do not has different kind of speech, right? So they speak like they are uneducated, and some educated persons, they really speak as educated one, right? Then according to him, for his additional reasons, so the term dialect is not preferred way of referring to national Englishes. So dialect does not only prefer national Englishes, it also prefer from other kind of regions, other languages. Yeah, there are other languages has also different kinds of dialect. So for example, here in Philippines, we have lots of different languages, and that languages has different kinds of dialects, and that dialect has a lot of varieties of languages, varieties of dialects, something like that. So also according to him, accent does really vary because the feature commonly used as a criterion in talking about variation is accent. Yeah. When we talk about variation, it also uh, it it is a matter of fact. It is all about the accent. Yeah. So what I'm using right now is my accent. This is how I speak. This is how I use English language as how I explain it to you, right? So maybe this is an accent that I was born with, or an accent that uh, I was idealized by some social media or something like that, or this is just the true me, my accent. So accent refers in addition to the pronunciation of sounds. As you can hear, my sounds are different, my stress and my intonations, or the rhythm of my speech. Yeah, it has a variation, right? So just like variety, accent also leads to controversies about which one is superior, desirable, and so on. So variety, yeah, this his idea there is very true, because variety also leads to controversies about who is which one is superior, desirable, something like that. Because when we have that kind of accent, or the variety of that language, so some people say that they are superior, they are good in something like that, they have a good accent. Yeah, they thought that that would be it, right? So, and also as you can see in the picture, so Thatcher introduced three concentric circle as a concept of world Englishes. So uh, to to further information, Thatcher is the one who introduced the three concentric, the three concentric circle about world Englishes. So there are inner circle, the outer circle, and the expanded circle. So as you can see there are different kind of English languages. So Philippines, because I am Filipino, Philippines the English Philippines had in Philippine English is in the part of outer circle, because English for us is, we use English as our secondary language. So in the expanded circle, to explain a little bit, expanded circle means that English is their foreign language. So some examples of the country that uses English as foreign language is Korea, China, Japan, something like that. And Philippines is in the outer circle, so we used as English language, ESL, English as second language. So in Philippines we use English as our second language. So as you can see there, the inner circle, they are the one who is as the roots of English. So the United States, the British, Australia. Yes, that's all for Thatcher's idea. Now let's move on for the next idea. So first, according to Hanke, one of the most issues in linguistics is to distinguish between language and dialect, or language and variety. So for him, language is really matters. Language and dialect, and language and variety. So for the first, for him, let me share this to you from the video I've seen on Hanke's video about language, dialect, and variety. He showed us some examples there. So one of the key points, key ideas that I had is the example between the Chinese. In Chinese, so they have only one language, yet uh, the common or the fact that it differs is their phonological, I mean the phonology and their orthophology, their accents. So they have different kind of accent, something like that. So if you want to watch the video, please you can search in the YouTube channel. Now let me share this to you about Hanki's idea. So Hanki put the language has criteria. So first criteria that he mentioned is the standardization. So for him, standardization, so it focuses on the spelling rules and the vocabulary, I think, vocabulary and dictionary. So it's true. In standardization, we should follow the spelling rules and in dictionary or in the vocabulary of that kind of language, right? So that's it. And then the second one, he said that that language has a criteria about the vitality. So vitality means that let me read this to you: the existence of a living community of speakers distinguishing language which are alive from languages which are dead. So to sum up this idea about vitality, he said that that language before should be reborn, right? Should be maintained, something like that. That is vitality. So we should that language should be present in today's. We should not just forget that kind of language. We should preserve this kind of language, or we should use that in recent days. And now the next is autonomy. So in autonomy, it is a matter of feeling and as a matter of subjective criterion. So a language must be felt different from other languages. So languages, we should feel it from other languages. So in autonomy, so it is the matter of feeling, right? So the feeling that we have according to that kind of language, which we are so comfortable with. So that's why we use that kind of language. So that is autonomy for him and language. So next is reduction. For him, reduction is written standards which reduced functions in a society help to distinguish varieties from standard languages. So keep on reading this kind of criteria about reduction. He states that written languages reduced functions in society. Why? I asked why. So maybe he has some points, because when it is hard for us to distinguish which one is a standard language that we should use, right? So that is why it reduced to help us distinguish the standard language. He has some points there, and that's how he distinguished the language. Next is the norms. I mean, this will be the last criteria that he mentioned. The norms. So it is between good and bad, where languages normally involve norms varieties. So it talks there the good or bad languages that we normally involve and norm varieties. So as you can observe the languages, so it really has a good or bad languages, right? So that's why he say that language is a criteria in norms. And he also shared this, that language also has a criteria about one of the criteria about language is the human development. So human development is of a language, and other cultures can define language differ from one another and from their varieties to sub-varieties. So in human development, so it is true that languages is different from other languages to varieties and into sub-varieties, right? So varieties does not focus on that kind of variety. It has also a sub-varieties of that language. So yes, it's true, it's a human development that we had today, right? And now he talked here about the dialect and variety. So dialect and variety has three components. It has regional, social, and phonological. So in regional, so one of the example of this is the rhoticity. Rhoticity is the rhotic, which is the some regions in the U.S. Some regions in the U.S. Can pronounce the word R, the letter R, and some are not. Yes. So for example, the word car. So other regions cannot pronounce the R word, R letter, the letter R. So they pronounce it car. Yes, something like that. So the R is. So it's there. The spelling is there, yet the pronunciation is. The pronunciation is very far from different. So that is original. So, and then the next one is social. So social. So it is influenced by social factors. So as today we have lots of influences from websites, the social groups of people who are having this kind of dialect. So me, I'm also one of the factors that I was influenced by the social. Yes. And then the last one is phonological. So phonological means phonology. It is our accent. Dialect, variety of dialect and variety. So it is the accent. So as what I've said from Kachur's idea, so accent doesn't really matter too, and it defines us. It defines language. Now let's move on to the other topic that Kumar have been discussed in the video. So he has there the society, the word society. So society means for the purpose of the study of language, a group of at least two persons with no upper limit may constitute society. So let me read this again first. For the purpose of the study of language, a group of at least two persons with no upper limit may constitute society. What does he mean about this? So a group drawn together for a purpose. Yeah? So that two people can have a communication. You cannot communicate with your own. You cannot call it a society. So if you're talking with someone in the same society, that's a group of two, even though you are with your parents, so you're in that kind of society, right? That's how Kumar defined society. Now let's have the identity. So for him, identity is a linguistic construction of membership in one or more social groups or categories. So it is not preconceived as male or female. It is a nouns way of referencing. So identity. So it also varies the identity that we had. So and it doesn't mean that female or that male has different language. Yes, they share the same language. It was there the tone is different. So the male has a very their voice is quite different. So the language doesn't differ. It's their voice or the tone of that kind of language. Now he also put the states there. He states there the speech community. So speech community, individuals who linguistically behave alike, speak the same language or dialect variety. So individuals who linguistically alike speak the same language. So that's how speech community defined with. So that kind of community share the same language, the same dialect, and the same variety of language. So he also states there in the speech community that individuals who observe same linguistic norms. Individuals, they also observe the same linguistic norms. So that kind of community, they also observe. So that particular person in that kind of community, to other or neighborhood, something like that, they really observe the linguistic norms. And then the last definition for him is the individuals may belong to many speech communities. Yes, individuals belong to many speech communities. Why? According to him, he states there that this kind of person, when he move out to another community, he adopt this kind of accent or the speech. They have the same language. So different community have the same language, yet their dialect or their accent, well, as far from they have a little bit different. So that's why many speech communities, so individuals may belong because when we go to the other part of the community, maybe adapt this speech or this accent that they had. So, and if he want to transfer again to another community, he may also adapt that kind of accent, or that kind of language they had. So that's why he put that. And then he states there are some domains of language that is used or the function. So some domains of language are in family, friends, community, business, religion, government, media, and education. So languages are used in different kind of places, right? So for example, in school, so some language, or for example in the private school, they only used English language. So there you should really use this English language so that you can communicate to other students in that private school, right? So, and lastly, he shared there the word dialect. So dialect for him is a socially loaded term. So all natural languages that people speak are acquired in the same manner. So then how could one be language and the other dialect? So he asked this question, Kumar asked this question: how could one be language and the other is dialect? I also asked that kind of question, yes, because in Philippines we have the only language that should be used in Philippines is the Tagalog. That's our the main language that different people from other region in Philippines can communicate to each other. So for example, in Philippines, in Manila, so in Manila there are not region, actually it's places where there are borders there that has a different kind of dialect. So they have the language, they use Tagalog, but they have different dialects, and that's it. So same language, one language, but different dialect. It also matters. Maybe it's because of the human development, right? So when humans separate ways, the this kind of group of people want to live here, and other ones to live here. They adapt this kind of a language they want to use, and that's why that's this kind of part of the place. They have different kind of dialect, and the other parts different kind of dialect, but they share the same language, yet they differ according to their dialect. So that's it for today's video. Thank you for listening and watching. Bye.